PWR today for this week. It's what week are we in, Linda? I think it's March. Is it April? Is it? I mean, are we warming
It
up yet? I
it is technically the last week of February, although the
oh
majority of this week is March.
yeah, I understand. Well, it's the man they call Meathead. It's Linda Kay. It's Matthew Thomas, and I don't know what's going on in Denver, Colorado. I don't know what's going on in Oak Creek. I can tell you what's going on in Appleton. We got a ton of snow this week, and I'm ready for it to be done. I thought when Aaron Rodgers sees his shadow after coming out of the quiet room that we're not supposed to get any more snow.
I did see a headline of the story of how Aaron Rodgers did in his darkness retreat. Did What happened? I don't know the results, or did he speak of that? Well, do we have to wait
I
for the Pat
have
McAfee show this week?
I have no idea. And to be honest, I don't care. I mean, I love the green and gold, but 12 can be 12 for all 12 wants to be. But Linda, we're going to ask Matthew first about Collar and Elbow.
Oh, that's a great company that makes wonderful clothing garments. And if you want to peruse their latest category or a catalog and inventory, head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your laptop. You can do it on your desktop computer. You can do it on, if you got one of those TVs where you can pull a web browser, you can do that. Collarandelbowbrand.com. Promo code Linda K saves you 10% off of your entire order. So go there and load your virtual cart on up with all the finest offerings from Collar and Elbow Brand.
Nice. And Linda K, I know we got one other sponsor we want to talk about. Go ahead, Linda.
Yes, that would be prowrestlinginsurance.com. Find out how you can have affordable coverage. It's supplemental coverage that you can have whether you currently have health insurance or not. This is supplemental coverage that will help pay for your bills. You pretty much get paid if you get hurt. That sounds kind of unique there. Let's let our friend Chris from prowrestlinginsurance.com tell you a little bit more about it. Plans as low as $8 a month. Also, if you're an event promoter, you are planning out your wrestling event, there's plans for that, as well as life insurance plans. So make sure to, again, visit Chris at prowrestlinginsurance.com. Find out how you can be covered at an affordable rate.
Nice. You know what? I also want to talk a little bit about GLCW that happened over the weekend as well. Linda K, I understand that it was a big show, and I understand that it ran to the wee hours of the night. That's how hot the crowd was. But tell us everything about last night's 25th anniversary GLCW show.
I just want to say that. Still sporting my GLCW shirt here.
Oh, higher. Put them right in the glass. There you go.
We have this classic GLCW shirt available, as well as we had a commemorative 25th anniversary shirt as well. Everybody at the door.
I'm still waiting on my Super Friends shirt. I mean, I'm sitting here
We're-
rocking the Bucks t-shirt. I'm still waiting on my superhero shirt.
Were there any NFTs for sale?
Not that I was aware of, but no. Hot crowd, huge show. We had obviously our great friend, member of PWR, Dave Hero, obviously president, and founder of GLCW, kick off the show, just kind of mentioning just the history, the lineage of the company, mentioning many of the names that once performed inside the confines of Circle.
I got to ask you, Linda, how long did that take for him to name all the people that were on the show?
It was just a nice, touching intro because it really made you think of like the stars that we once had in that room that we see currently now. Like, I remember the names that stand out right now. I mean, we recently had Solo Sikoa on there. He was there with his dad, just doing the dance in the ring. That was not that long ago.
That was Blizzard Brawl 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, but think about that. Like, that wasn't that long ago. And we had Scarlett there before, Trinidad, just other names that you see regularly. It's just amazing over the years. And then, of course, the legends that have stopped it back in to perform for us. But 25-year anniversary, there was no open seat in the house. Like, we had a huge group from a local college, Concordia, their baseball team. It was their night out. They're having a fun boys' night out, and came in, and we had them right there up on the stage. We had to have them sit on the stage by me and Eric, our DJ, because there was just not enough more room. But man, this was the hottest crowd I've ever performed at it. Circle B. I mean, it was the most packed, the most loud. Everyone was excited from start to finish. It was truly an amazing show. We had our main event, which was a 6-person tag. It was the Mayan Mauler, Drew Hernandez, and Psycho Love. That's the team of Angelina Love and Psycho Boy Fodder against the team of Tiffany Nieves, La Princesa. We've seen it a lot at GLCW recently from OVW, along with Shotgun Tony Gunn also from OVW, and then of course the hometown
Wait,
hero.
I thought that was Tony Mudd.
Tony Gunn, shotgun Tony Gunn. Yes, but yeah. So Psycho Love and Ryan Muller had the pin initially, although we had a special someone there who noticed there was a little bit of cheating, and that would be Sean X-Pac Waltman, our guest of honor there for Break It Down, came on out and said, no, not on my watch. Are you guys going to cheat and win here at the 25th anniversary of GLCW? So we had the match restarted, triple pin started, and boom. That's how we ended Break It Down. But it was just so cool. Long line of fans to meet X-Pac as well. Great friend of the show. He's so awesome too. And great times. Cheers.
That's fantastic. I mean, and Matthew, I know that you saw how many people were there. What kind of house did it look like, Matthew?
It looked like a pot house.
That's okay. That line was awesome. I set it up for you because I wanted to hear you say it. It was a pocked house. That's right.
We capture some gold, or we don't capture some gold off air. So,
hey, let's get to more gold here. Let's talk about the XFL now getting kicked off. The Rock, his NFL-like program, his NFL-like league is now in its second week. By the way, have you guys watched, because I know it was the season finale this last Friday, have you watched any Young Rock this year?
I have not had the chance to. It is on my DVR, and like when I go to bed, I'm like, I'm going to watch this, and then I'm like, I'm out.
Matthew?
I have not, but does that count for appearance points? Because
it does not. It does not. But you know what? I don't know if you guys know this. Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, also appearing in the season finale as well. Not the real Hulk Hogan, but a brother, dressed up in a fake black, beard and all that other stuff. This year it was amazing, and to be completely blunt, I never thought I'd get this out of the show. We've gone 3 seasons now.
Yeah. No, it's gone a lot longer than I would have expected. And just a quick segue here. It's probably not on our run sheet, but A&E is back with their WWE block. And I caught the NWO episode last week. And they've always done a great job, but production this year seems like it is absolutely top notch. One of the best produced documentaries by this collaboration I've ever seen.
I almost lost it when they spoke of the girl that talked to Bischoff, talked to her at a Phoenix Comic-Con and said, my connection to wrestling was through my dad, and my dad's no longer here. My mom's no longer here. Mr. Bischoff, would you walk me down the aisle? Oh my God. Oh my God. That I kind of lost it there. Now, here's the problem I have with those, but I still love them, right? The NWO stuff has been done to death.
Absolutely.
Done to death.
And that's what I thought going in. But you know what? There was a little bit of new material, but I mean, the presentation was so refreshing that I'm going to get into it and be like, okay, this is just going over the same ground. But I thought they did, whereas there wasn't a ton of new stuff. I just thought that the delivery was great.
Yep. And then they went to Hogan and Andre with Rivals for the last hour. And, they gave us a little more background on the Hogan and Andre stuff that happened before WrestleMania 3, where they had these series of matches for about a year. And, Andre, enough credit is not given to Andre the Giant because he liked Hogan, even though, it seemed like, the whole story that's been told over and over that he didn't like him and we didn't know what was going to happen on the day of WrestleMania. Don't worry. You know what? By the way, Hulk Hogan probably does the best Andre the Giant impression ever because he sat with Boss. He said, "Come here, play cards."
Something there too, because the presentation that I've seen in years past, WWE and their WWE sometimes revisionist history would like you to think that Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3 was the first time it ever happened. But this show with WWE production, they went deep into the matches that happened in years before, which that was the first.
Hogan had a whole head of hair. He had a whole head of hair.
That was the first time that I had ever seen a WWE back production really go into that part of history.
Yeah, absolutely. And, maybe that was a payback for the NWO stuff, because to be completely honest, Matthew, the presentation of the A&E NWO stuff, they point right at Hogan. consistently over and over. And Hogan, for the finger poke of doom said, "Whoop, I'm sorry." But they made sure to let everyone know that the reason the Bash at the Beach NWO pay-per-view was so up in air because Hogan decided he was going to play his creative control card.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude was doing that back in '96. And, they really dived into, and Linda, I know you remember this as well. They dived into the Starrcade '97 match between Hogan and Sting, where there was a pinfall for Hogan to win the match. And then it was all muddled up. And then here comes Bret Hart. He goes, "I don't remember Bret Hart supposed to be coming out in the match." It's because you guys goofed it up. I mean, when you said, and Sting said, "Well, look, I mean, the match changed an hour before the show actually happened." So I missed that. I didn't know I was supposed to kick out on that. I thought there was going to be interference. So what a hot mess. Linda, do you remember that match, Hogan and Bret Hart? I mean, excuse me, Hogan and Sting?
Not as distinctly, to be honest. I definitely was at that age catching more of
WWF girl.
Yeah, whatever our family could afford to purchase. But I forced them to order my WWE pay-per-view. But yeah, so I mean, I recall.
Wait a minute, you weren't coming to Blast Zones like Romines at that point?
Not yet.
Okay. To be completely honest, I think '97 we didn't have that. '98 was the first year we showed. Unforgiven '98 was our first pay-per-view there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so
I wasn't going into the Blast area bars quite yet, Meathead.
Yeah, I know. All right, but a lot of great stuff. I know coming up this week you got more as well. So I'm looking forward to everything they're going to be producing. I know there's one on China coming up as well. So I'm excited to see how far down they go into that because, to be honest, there's some muddy waters in there for China. And if this is a WWE/A&E produced biography, how far do they go into said muddy waters? You don't know. Let's talk XFL, and we kind of dove off, and now we're going to come back in. I think that it would be fun for us to each pick a team that maybe we're going to root for in the XFL season. We're in week 2 already. Linda K, who do you got in the XFL season? Who's your designated team?
Well, I will say I did catch the finish of that debut game, which came down to the wire, which was cool to see just because I haven't seen XFL television or on my television in a minute.
Sure.
Because I love the city of Sin. It is my favorite vacation destination.
And you're a Randy Orton kind of girl.
I'm the what?
You're a Randy Orton kind of girl. So.
Oh, yes. So, Vegas Vipers.
Oh.
That is my team I will be behind this year in the XFL.
Okay. Matthew Thomas, who do you got?
After my stay in that Houston hotel room, I think I'm carrying a little bit of Houston with me, probably on my skin and my body. So I'm going to go with the Houston Roughnecks.
You've got it all over your neck?
Yeah. It's I think I do.
I mean, because
Roughnecks,
yep. I mean, because, I've always, as a child, when I played imaginary games, I've always wanted to be a sea dragon. I figure, why not be a Seattle sea dragon? So here we go. Linda's got the Vegas Vipers, sponsored by Randy Orton. Matthew's got the Houston Roughnecks, which he picked up some sort of venereal disease in Houston. Go ahead, Linda.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, and the man that called me Meathead is going to be a sea dragon from Seattle.
That sounds
right. Whatever team performs the best gets an extra pick in next year's PWR draft. Oh, yeah. 11 members instead of 10.
We'll get to the PWR draft totals in a little bit. I know the accounting firm said they were backed up, but we have those totals, and we will get to those in a little bit. Ring of Honor started TV tapings again down at Universal Studios, Matthew Thomas. And the biggest surprise was the IWGP TV champion showing up for Ring of Honor tapings. Zack Sabre Jr. is part of Ring of Honor as well, but not going to really run down the spoilers because this is for Ring of Honor television, going to be on Honor Club coming up soon. But everybody showed up. Looks like Willow Nightingale also wrestling there as well from AEW. I mean, we had Wheeler Yuta, Eddie Kingston at the Ring of Honor tapings as well, challenging Claudio Castagnoli for a ROH World Title shot. So, Matthew Thomas, your thoughts on the return of Ring of Honor television?
I like that they've got something going on now. My only question,
maybe it can stay off of AEW.
Yeah. No, I think that would be, maybe give us a little bit of a, mention what's going on there, but don't feature them on the actual shows and make it so if you want to see Claudio, if you want to see some of these talents, you've got to tune into ROH. But the question of intrigue here is, I think Honor Club's like $10 a month or $9.99 a month. Like, with the wrestling market as saturated as it is, are you going to get people to press that buy button for that subscription? And are you going to present a product that is engaging enough and different from what you're seeing on AEW to intrigue people? So I'm really, from a business perspective, I'm really curious as to how this plays out.
Linda K, Ring of Honor. My complaint was always it was way too much on AEW TV. Now with the TV presentation for Ring of Honor, do we get Ring of Honor away from AEW, and can we start building our true AEW program again?
I would like to see that. I think it is obviously in conjunction with AEW, but there is that loyal fan base too that I think would, or continue to be a part of this, the club to get those. So are the pay-per-views included with that monthly subscription, or is it a separate buy-in?
I don't know. I have to call Tony on that. I'm not quite sure, but I'll reach out.
I feel like if it is included, then I feel like that this could be a great thing here, because obviously there's still the mentions, but I already, like on AEW television, but I think keeping it more ROH through the ROH channels would just bring more revenue. I feel just because if you have it, but if it's something you're not seeing on regular AEW TV, you're going to want to see it on the ROH channels, if you will. I don't think we're even seeing as much like ROH presence on AEW television. I mean, we have, Briscoe on.
Samoa Joe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Claudio Castagnoli. Yeah. Wheeler Yuta.
We haven't really seen much of like the ROH.
The matches.
6-man tag, the women's ROH. Is Daniel Garcia still the pure champion? I see it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see it as much.
Daniel Garcia's and it's not being shoved in her face, which is to your point. So, I mean, it is what it is. Real quick, I want to jump into Impact. There are new tag team champions. The Motor City Machine Guns, those guys no longer have the belts. It is now Dash and Chris Bay and the Ace Austin. The Bullet Club are the new Impact tag team champions. Linda, Bullet Club still going strong after 27 and a half years, and the NWO show that we just had over the weekend. Just kidding. Your thoughts on new tag team champions and Impact?
Yeah, I mean, let's keep it going strong. I mean, there's the Bullet Club presence you're just going to hear, I think, forever on several promotions. Let's keep it strong and going, and having that name pop up there for Impact.
Absolutely.
Hey, Meathead, you do realize you can do that motion in reference to the Bullet Club only if you've been shot in your palm.
I do have a scar right there, though. I don't know if you can see that. So I haven't been shot, but there is a scar right there. I think I told this story already, but the first time I got to meet Alex and Chris, I had stitches actually in my hand. It was like, hey, look at that right there. And it was the stitches from that scar going right across the hand. So it was ironic. Matthew Thomas, let's talk about the week that was. Let's go Raw first. Raw, we had a big-time match, and it was Finn Balor and Edge. I thought they would save this maybe for WrestleMania, but it was Balor and Edge, and Balor beat the crap out of Edge.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way that this needed to go. I mean, you've got to let Balor get some of that rub from Edge there, and a great main event for a Raw. So I give them credit for putting this on free TV, and who knows what we're going to see eventually come WrestleMania for both of these guys.
Yep. And a couple other things. Really, I enjoyed Paul Heyman in the neck brace. That was funny to me. The promos, this is a weird build, right? We haven't had Cody and Roman face to face yet. We've had Cody and Paul face to face. Now we've had Paul on the big screen and Cody in the ring. When do we finally get it? Is that what we're building towards? Are we doing like a half build? Because really, this Sami Zayn stuff is overshadowing everything that Roman and Cody should be doing.
Yeah, it should be interesting. We only have, was it 5 weeks, I think, till Mania?
I think it's 6 weeks since last Saturday. Possibly. I don't know.
Yes.
Math is hard.
So 5 weeks. I had a late night, so let me figure this out. No, that's an interesting point. I mean, we know we're getting Cody Roman, and I think
a 6-pack of weeks. Sorry, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh. Well, I think we're finally steering that other direction, where the focus with Sami is now more with KO and with the Usos, especially after SmackDown this past week. And
they really got to separate them. Yeah.
Right. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. So we're getting Paul and Cody getting things rolling, getting more of that focus.
Yeah.
But just what we've seen so far with Paul and with Cody, that's already building generating more of that extra heat, that emotion. So I wouldn't be surprised if Roman shows up on Raw next couple of weeks, perhaps once or twice.
They're in our neighborhood tonight, aren't they? The Grand Rapids, I think. Tonight for Raw.
For Raw, yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Depends on what night this is.
That's why I paused. That's why I was like tonight. I'm like, please.
Well, we say today. It's Sunday as we recording this, folks, but we present this as if it's Monday, the beginning of the week. So,
got it.
All right.
Yeah. But you know what? I know the week after John Cena will be on Raw, so why not make it Roman the following week? Let's lay off the foundation a little bit more for Mania, because we've got 5 weeks still.
Another big story that happened, Linda, was the return of the Queen of Extreme, I guess, maybe, Team Extreme. It was Lita coming to back up Becky Lynch. Ding dong, hello! They made her go through the door. They said, well, at least go knock on the door.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad they did it. That's just classic. Just like when we had that Raw 30-year and we had an APA, same thing.
Yeah.
You got to go through the door.
Got to go through the door.
But that's cool. I mean, but then it makes me think for Raw tonight or tomorrow, depending when you're watching this. I know that Becky Lynch and Lita are challenging Damage Control because they want to, like Becky Lynch said, I would be the champ going into WrestleMania. So do we see that change happen on Raw? And then where does that lead to Mania? Interesting.
I don't know. But one other thing I want to talk about it. I didn't think I was going to bring this up, but honestly, it's kind of sitting right in front of us. Bray Wyatt said before the match at Elimination Chamber that he wants either Bobby or Brock, right? Technically, Bobby won, which gave Team Meathead points. But technically, Bobby won. Omos challenged Brock Lesnar to a match at WrestleMania. Is that where we're going? Are we going Bobby and Bray, Omos and Brock Lesnar?
If you read the reports surrounding this on DirtySheets.com and various other outlets, it looks like we're going Omos and Brock at Mania.
Wow.
I personally don't have an interest in that.
I have nothing invested in that at all. I mean,
Omos seems to pop up occasionally on Raw, and to take one of your top tier main event special attractions in Brock Lesnar and just throw him in a match there, I don't necessarily see how they are going to make this compelling, especially with the finish of, Bobby and Brock. That seems like it's setting.
Which was hot. It was hot.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's setting up for another match. But my goodness, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind even seeing a triple threat here with Bray and those two. But the Omos
Bray and
thing,
Brock and Bobby, yeah.
The Omos thing just seems to come out of nowhere. And
Omos needs to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Is what he needs to win.
Don't know that they're going to get people on board with that.
Oh, I don't know either. All right.
Can I interject really quick?
Yes, absolutely.
The past couple of weeks we've had MVP talking to Bobby, try to get him back within his wings, and then you see him. Yeah. You've been seeing MVP in the back talking with Shelton.
Right, those guys are hurt. Those guys are hurt business, I guess.
Going with this because that's why you had. I mean, in my mind, you had Bobby and Brock at Elimination Chamber, where you still have fans cheering for Bobby, but you were getting more cheers, I think, for Brock with his return. So I was seeing that steer where Bobby was turning heel again, and then therefore reestablishing the Hurt business, just because that's where it
is
like
convoluted.
And we were talking about how Hurt business was dropped kind of quick, I think, maybe. Like we're like, oh, there was so much potential there. That could have been a Hurt business bloodline thing. I mean, I'm going back before the whole Sami stuff too, but I thought maybe that was where we were possibly going, just from seeing MVP popping up everywhere. But Omos is still within his wings, and we can still make it out the Hurt business. But now, if it is going to be Omos and Brock, so then that would make it Bobby and Bray, yeah. And Uncle Howdy.
And Uncle Howdy, who apparently dances. We'll get to that in a second. AEW Dynamite results from last Wednesday. We had a lot of big stuff happening. We had Orange taking on Wheeler. We had Moxley and Evil Uno, which just came out of nowhere. But obviously Moxley taking on Uno because of Hangman Adam Page. We had a tag team match with the Acclaimed and Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. By the way, let me just say this. B.W. Morrissey, or be the other name that you were from WWE. Yeah. Big Bill name sucks. I can't with that name.
Sounds like it's a fireworks depot.
Right.
He was funny though in that match. It was funny.
He looks amazing, but the name is terrible. Yeah. I mean, what name is worse, Big Bill or LA Knight?
Big Bill.
We had a tag team battle royal. Yep, go ahead, Matthew.
LA Knight's actually, I've softened a little bit on that. It's actually grown on me a little bit. I mean,
the LA Knight stuff has grown a little bit too.
But I think the thing of it is he's such a dynamic persona that it's like, all right, that's who he is. That's what he's called. He's actually taken over that name. And we just don't see it. I mean, we see Big Bill in action, but we don't see enough of that persona on weekly TV.
But Christian Cage returns. Night now. There's another change.
Yeah. Christian Cage returns to AEW to do an interview with Tony Schiavone, but is attacked by Jungle Jack Perry. But Jungle Jack Perry can't pull the trigger, so Christian Cage pulls the trigger without hesitation on Jack Perry. This is going to be working towards hopefully another match at Revolution. More promo between MJF and Bryan Danielson, and now MJF wants to talk to Bryan's kids over the camera, and he's planning on giving them CTE. That was the end of it. Dada won't be able to play with you anymore. It was just awkward. Linda Kay, it was intense, right? Max doing the whole nobody loves me thing. If you're trying to get us to empathize with Thanos, right? You don't tell these stories about how, you were done wrong and this is why you're a bad guy. Be a bad guy.
Maybe we're trying to, I don't know, it's interesting with MJF because he's just from the start, like anytime he tells us the stories, it's almost like as if we are to feel that emotion with him and relate to him more, but as the heel, like you said, just be, heel. So that is interesting. I just think we've just gotten that from MJF, I think from the start, where we're just hearing so much about his personal feedback, his personal life, what's happened, what has angered him more, or on the flip side, motivated.
Or how that one time that somebody left the cheese off of his fillet of fish and he was really upset about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. But hey, anytime you bring family and that's gonna get much more heat. And that pull apart was really tough between the two of them. They were going at it.
Pull apart was great.
It's just interesting because I keep picturing the pay-per-view being in March. I'm like, that's still such a far away. I'm like, oh no, it's next weekend.
Next weekend, yeah.
So that's cool. But yeah, we're finally getting there, and it's building and building for all these matches. So that's great to see. So it should be an interesting go home Dynamite.
Tag team battle royal. The winners of this battle royal. Remember, when it's a tag team battle royal, both members got to be eliminated. But the winners of the tag team battle royal is Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Jay Lethal. Thanks to Satnam Singh, who just stood there and held them from getting out of the ring. I thought that was real clever. They're going to be one of the 4 teams in the tag team match at the pay-per-view. Matthew Thomas, who's winning this week and going to join the tag team 4-way.
What's my options?
Your options are.
That's what pops in my head, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
If Butcher and the Blade are in there, that'd be cool to see. But
are the bald Butcher, by the way, a bald Butcher.
Yeah. Are the Acclaimed in already?
The Acclaimed are in.
Okay.
It's the Acclaimed, the Ass Boys, and now Jarrett and Lethal. We need a 4th team.
Interesting.
Need another babyface, maybe. Like I said, I can only think of best friends right now.
Yeah, I think give me Butcher and the Blade. Although, does cheese come standard on filet of fish, or is that a special request?
No, it comes standard. Honestly, who we could have? I'm just saying, because his legal issues have been solidified. Maybe we ask Matthew and Jeffrey to show up and be that 4th team. That's a pay-per-view. I know I don't want it either.
Yeah,
but I do.
I want it, but I don't. So I want it from the fan side, right? But I don't want it because, I don't know. They
have to be the winner this week at Dynamite, so they can't be like the big surprise at the pay-per-view. If it was laid out that way, and a mystery tag team, then I could see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, big announcement from AEW and Tony Khan, but Tony Khan says, I'm not going to give you an announcement. How about Adam Cole, baby? He's going to give you the announcement, and it is a brand new AEW TV show, All Access, which will air weekly after Dynamite, and that's when Adam Cole returns to the ring. Matthew Thomas, your thoughts on Adam Cole, baby, coming back to the ring with another TV show?
Yeah, I'm glad to see him back in ring. I'm going to have to wait and see on this TV show. It's hard for me to really kind of get a grasp based on the description here of what we've got. And I think what you're potentially running into is, all right, AEW is producing additional content, and we standardly get one women's match on 2 hours of TV on Wednesday and one on 1 hour of TV on Friday. You've still got that super, super inflated roster there. And it's just part of me is looking at this. And yeah, I think another hour of wrestling might be saturating things further, but we're going another hour of AEW programming that is not going to feature any of these talents in ring to progress any storylines. So I'm going to reserve my opinion until I actually see this thing air.
All right, let's move on to SmackDown, shall we? Let's talk about, really, for starters, the great six-man tag. I actually was kind of impressed. A very odd team of Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and Riddick Moss. Or is he going by Happy Moss or Happy Riddick? Or I forget what he's going by right now. But great match. Madcap Moss, that's it. I enjoyed that match. And Braun Strowman, a big friend of GLCW. I think he's coming up to a show soon this summer, Linda.
He is?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I saw another promo for Ashipin that he's going to be showing up at Ashipin.
I think that was just the poster from last year when Dave made that post about.
I was going to say, because that'd be amazing being a WWE talent, because I thought that was a thing where, once you're WWE, you don't do independent shows.
Yeah, no, I think that was because I did see that shared and someone commenting like, let's go. And I was like, oh, well, it happened. But you can still obviously come to more GLCW shows, blizzardbrawl.com to find out the shows coming up. But no, I enjoyed that too. I'm a huge, huge fan of Imperium too, by the way. They're my favorite entrance right now too. There's just something captivating about that, and just
the black and white and the pillars. Yeah, the black and white and the pillars. Yeah.
And there's just been it's a unique situation there because you have Gunther, who's been this huge, strong, dominating Intercontinental Champion for how many days?
Does he lose this belt? Are we building towards Drew McIntyre and Gunther at WrestleMania? Does he drop the belt?
That's where everything's kind of interesting because we had that potential. Remember at the Rumble we got that face-to-face with Gunther and Brock. Maybe that might happen. Yep. We also have had recent matches, little feuds, if you will. We had Madcap and Braun and Ricochet that have recently fought Gunther, I think they all had a recent match with him. So I thought maybe one of them might get something. And now you're throwing Drew McIntyre in that mix, which is interesting because now he's also a banger pro. So he's
got his toes dipped into everything because right as he was starting
to eyeball, he really did. But
because remember, he got attacked by the Viking Raiders afterwards.
Oh yeah, and then there's that too. So now I'm even more confused. I don't know.
But I was going to say, let's unconfuse it by just going to what's going on right now, and it's LA Knight and the New Day on the microphone back. Yeah, shut up, I'm talking. Yeah. Good stuff. You know what? I'd like to see more on the mic, Linda, between LA Knight and the New Day.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yes. No, I think that if we get something with LA Knight and Kofi, that would be cool. Because they both talked about a WrestleMania moment or,
Yeah, an LA Knight moment. Yeah.
Yes, in LA.
That's
that'd
right.
be fun. Yeah, that'd be something good, and there's some time there to build something with them. So that'd be a fun way to get New Day in at Rumble too, because they're always a huge part of Rumble.
WrestleMania. Yeah.
What about Big E? Is he coming back soon?
Big E's probably going to be a WrestleMania surprise if I were to guess. Matthew Thomas. We just talked about LA Knight and the promo between him and the New Day. Tell me how you feel about a promo one-on-one with Charlotte Flair and Dominic Mysterio.
Something I didn't know I needed in my life.
Right?
That Dominic has become the breakout star of the last 6
Let me ask you this, Matthew. Speak on this. Was Dominic always able to talk on the microphone, or have they finally given him the microphone?
I think they've presented him in a fashion that he can basically make his showcase his talents. I don't think with the father and son duo, I don't think it was ever going to break out there. And I think that was largely the way that he was booked. This has just been so well done. And I think if you tried to put him on equal footing with Balor and Priest, it wouldn't have worked. But by having, his mommy and having that relationship there, the prison thing was so well done. Like there were a lot of ways with Dominic where it just would not have worked out or it would have felt forced. And for a long time, to me, the initial Dominic run did feel very, very forced. I mean, you had Ray with the promos and Dominic was just kind of there, not saying so much. But no, this was very, very solid. And I think, again, it's them trying to reemphasize the heel face dynamic with Rhea and Charlotte, because that's been a little bit up in the air. I mean, Rhea's got a very, very strong fan base. And I think with Charlotte, it just depends on how she's presented from week to week. She could kind of go either way. So this was them really staking their claim. And okay, we've got one face, we've got one heel here, but just very, very well done all around, I thought.
So Shayna Baszler doesn't even get her own music anymore. Now she's getting what's called the rub from Ronda Rousey. And by the way, Ronda Rousey just coming out randomly in the middle of the show with Shayna Baszler. But the way they present these two, I think that they are a solid, formidable team when it comes to the women's tag team division, if they ever put them in that. And I think they're going to run through it. Matthew Thomas, real quick, thoughts on Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey being presented as a team?
Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense with their MMA background. It's good to see them partner up. I mean, I think you can get a good storyline here, have a good tag team run, have them eventually separate. I think there's money in that. And hey, they won the titles at WrestleMania. That's another title win for Matthew Thomas at WrestleMania for his great comeback. And, all we need now for Matthew Thomas's WrestleMania is the team of RK Brock. And not Brock Lesnar, The Rock. The Rock joins Team RK Bro.
Oh my God.
6-man tag.
Right after leaving a game of the Vegas Vipers, right?
Yes.
All right, Linda Kay, let's move on. Go ahead.
We're thinking the women's tag. So
yeah.
So what I'm seeing that I would actually be interested in this. So if Becky Lynch and Lita win the titles tonight on Raw.
Yeah.
And then we have Shayna
and Ronda
from SmackDown.
I'd watch that match at WrestleMania.
I do too.
I'd watch that.
See? Like I said, front of us. So if that happens, that would be. I would like that actually. I do, by the way, love the tag team of Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how much I would like it, but I do. And I'm obviously not a black belt like they are in their respective martial arts, but I
love that presentation.
I'm like, yeah, I love
I love that. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Because I love seeing them come out in their stuff. Ronda in judo and Shayna in BJJ, right?
Yeah, but just them together, they have been great, and this is the best presentation of Ronda Rousey in WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Linda, you and I got a little background in, behind the camera and behind the scenes. What about Bray Wyatt showing us the editing of the family or the Firefly Funhouse?
I love it. It's also adding another layer of like, who is this other person? No, there's been
and a dancing Uncle Howdy. Yeah,
that too. You can hear the voices. It wasn't Randy that I'm aware of. But I love it. It made me think more and more of that game of like, this isn't White Rabbit, but it makes you really dive in and watch closely at what you're seeing. We're kind of like remember that Edge thing when we were like, just pieces like that. I love it. It's very intriguing. It's looking more and more like.
You mean like burning license plates that say Latino Heat? Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. I loved it. It's fun showing it just from like a behind the scenes kind of way, but part of the whole segment, the whole like Price is Right kind of thing like that. That was fun.
Coming up at 10 o'clock, it's Do You Want to Keep a Secret? Followed by Can You Really Keep a Secret?
Yeah.
Hey, Karrion Kross defeats Rey Mysterio. I thought there'd be more to this presentation. It seems like Karrion Kross is just the glue that continues on to help with Rey and Dominic. I hope there's a one-on-one match at WrestleMania between Dominic and Rey Mysterio, Linda.
It has to be.
By the way, Dominic is off-white. I don't know if you know that. For some reason, his purple flannel that he wears, there's a big trademark right here that says off-white. Why? Why is he wearing a flannel that says off-white? Trademark.
I didn't notice.
It's kind of weird. Ray, the good father that he is, I can't help it because WWE's freeze frame right on top of it. Ray, being the good father that he is, will not attack his son. he continues to get pushed and continues to get pushed. Dominic headbutting him basically and shoving him off with his head. Matthew, I know we're going to get this match. Is the build enough? Do you need more, or is it too much?
I think it's fine. I mean, I think you've got the built-in build there of them being father and son. I mean, I guess if you wanted it a little bit bigger, you could bring in Big Bill for the really big build.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Just have him show up.
So what was his WWE name? So there was Enzo and was Big Cass. That's what he went by. He went by Big Cass.
Did you hear?
See, either be Big Cass or W. Morrissey. Please, not Big Bill.
Or talking about Dynamite when they faced the Acclaim. Did you hear Max Caster's rap something about like, I got your girl texting me because she said you were SAWFT or something like that.
Or something like that. Yeah, I caught it. Like, yeah.
That was good.
All right, Matthew, let's talk about it. Main event time. Jimmy is in the ring trying to call out Jay. And I love Sami's entrance when he does this. He does the black hood over his head and then comes out and it's Sami Zayn. Crowd goes banana, right? They have the talk back and forth. There's Jay, big time Jay, in the crowd, not saying you're doing a thing. Jimmy super kicking and attacking Sami Zayn. At some point, I think that when Sami goes after Jimmy, Jay's going to attack Sami. That's how we get our tag team match.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to tune in every week to see the way that this plays out. And I was intrigued as to where things would be with Sami and the bloodline after the pay-per-view match. And I really think that this reinforces the right move they made at the pay-per-view, because now you are really seeing a lot more of the spotlight on the Usos here. They were always there in the storyline, but the center of this storyline was pretty much Roman and Sami. And now,
right.
Off TV,
you got to get Roman away from Sami.
Yeah. So what I'm really seeing here in the last few weeks here is just really how the Usos are coming into their own in this storyline. And you're going off the air and you're featured with, the three brothers, in the ring there. And this is really, really shining that spotlight on them while, hopefully you kind of let the Roman and Cody thing happen, which, going back to your comments earlier, man, I'm actually fine if our build is Cody and Heyman the whole time and we don't get a face-to-face till the match, because I think these two are gifted. If you really want to make it interesting, if they want to go this route, maybe bring in Brandy for a week or two. Give me Brandy and Heyman, keep them away from, they're on different brands, keep them away from each other. Because we've already established the history there between the Rhodes family and Heyman. I think you've got so many elements here that can really, really work in this build.
Absolutely.
Then you wait till the go home show to finally get that face-to-face?
I don't even know if I want them to go home show.
Because the go home show would be the Raw. Because let's think about it. That SmackDown is just a hype machine is all it is. It's not an actual go home. So the go home is the Raw.
Yeah.
That would make sense if you're going to bring the tribal chief to get that face-to-face, whether it's that nose-to-nose moment that we historically get.
We need that poster. We need the poster is what we need.
Yeah, so I feel like they should, but they shouldn't touch.
And I want to add this really quick on Cody's presentation week to week. It's very, very old school. It's very, very NWA-esque, but my goodness, I think it makes a huge difference. Him showing up each week in a suit, looking sharp. He's not trying to hawk his merchandise. He's dressed like a professional. And I mean, this is par for the course with Cody. I get it. But seeing this presentation in a big, build to WrestleMania like this makes a huge, huge difference.
Okay, Linda K., your final thoughts on the Bloodline and Sami Zayn?
I think it's going perfect. More of that focus is indeed on Sami and the Usos. And you still have KO in there as well. And I love how they laid it out this week. It was the end of Raw, I think, right? Where he was like, I did it for you, like the save. He's like, it's not necessarily because of like us. I did it for you because I didn't want your wife and son to see you
see what happened to me.
Family saw me being attacked. So that was good. But that, if we are going to go that route, they're going to tag.
Let's go. We're waiting for it. Yeah, we're waiting for it.
Strong. Yeah. No,
let's close up the week with AEW Rampage, and it was the Bucks with Omega on the side, taking on Aussie Open, which would make sense since they had the Ring of Honor TV tapings, because Aussie Open was at the tapings as well. So if you're going to bring in the talents, might as well, work them on the shows. Big match. And again, I love Aussie Open, but I don't think they're treated as big as they should be. They're New Japan talents. They're used in Ring of Honor. We use them in AEW. I mean, they're just kind of there. Kind of like back in the WCW days where you'd have Malenko and Benoit, go over to New Japan for a couple weeks and then come back. Just not enough importance on it. But big match with them. But what we did get off of this was at the end, the lights go dark and they come back on. It's the House of Black, and they're looking for that 6-man tag championship. And I think we might get that match at the pay-per-view, House of Black and the Elite. Linda?
Yeah, I definitely see it going that way. House of Black win. If that happens, I feel like they should, just because it'd be nice to give them that push right now. That the Elite are just still going to be top spot, or like just fan favorites and just highly featured anyway. I think they're going to give.
Well, they're going to carry on,
Black,
like a wayward son. Yeah, they'll be peace when they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Linda, there was the return of the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer, with Jake the Snake Roberts, who's going to have a A&E documentary on him as well. I don't know if that's coming up this week or not, but
I think it is,
Murder Hawk.
Good timing
there. That's perfect. The Murder Hawk returning with the white braids in there, and he still looks amazing. They bring him in, honestly, to beat up on the little guys once in a while, but he's a huge talent. Finally, the main event, Sammy Guevara taking on Action Andretti. Rampage. Really, they're going to be adding this extra show right after Dynamite. Rampage is just 60 minutes of just stuff jammed in there to get these other talents on TV. Glad to see Jake the Snake Roberts. Glad to see the Murder Hawk monster, but we don't get a ton of storyline movement other than to set up Dynamite. Your thoughts overall on Rampage, Linda?
Yeah, I mean, is this question something we discussed?
It's hypothetical.
It's an hour-long show. Like, do we treat it more? I mean, I think the formula right now is just getting more matches in. That's it. Like you said, getting people a moment to get their spot on TV. I think a lot of the storyline telling and carrying does happen a lot more on Dynamite. I mean, it does come over into Rampage, obviously, but it also sets up new feuds. Like, for example, 1/6 out is Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee, him and the Mogul Affiliates. Like, that was something that I saw strictly, for the most part, just like.
And Keith Lee looking bald now, isn't he? Didn't he shave his head too?
You're seeing the grays now. That's.
Oh yeah, that's right. The lighting again. The Butcher's bald. Keith Lee is bald.
This gave me something, very genuine, something you didn't think you wanted or thought about. So you saw Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee as a tag team. I mean, both their size and just their experience them together. Or the Texas connection. Like, I'm like, I want that.
Yeah, Keith Lee's a big Texas guy. Matthew Thomas, we did get another women's match in the Rampage presentation. We got Toni Storm and Willow Nightingale, but then we also get Ruby Soho running out to even up the odds at the end as Soraya was pulling out the green spray paint. Hayter and Britt Baker. Do we have a big 4-way happening at the pay-per-view, possibly for the women's championship?
Possible, but can't we do better in 2023 than a storyline where you've got spray paint and you're spray painting loser or L or whatever on people?
Well, I mean, they were just talking about the NWO, so you might as well right off of the spray paint there.
That's late 90s there. Yeah, we got some nostalgia for that, but I mean, between that and the L for loser, like from Clueless and stuff, man, we got like a late 90s feel.
No. Dodgeball. L for love.
But we also got that too. Like, remember with when the Bellas were calling everybody losers too, and we were doing that. I don't know if that's just a continuation thing. We tie in a lot of the female talents.
Like, just a very cliche paint by numbers storyline for a women's division. Like, it feels like you're just trying to figure out, like, okay, we got to write a storyline for a women's division. Let's have them being quote unquote catty, like it feels like lowest common denominator stuff.
It is what it is. All right. Nothing very low common denominator.
Spray paint is green. What was the meaning? I know, like, you see Soraya has some green in her gear, but I guess,
I don't know. But lowest common denominator is not what we're going to be talking about when we talk about the PWR Fantasy Draft Totals, brought to you by the accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe. Matthew Thomas, Linda Kay, the man they call Meathead, been battling it out all season long. We have one more pay-per-view after Revolution, and it's WrestleMania. Revolution is this Saturday and there's a lot of points to be had. But currently, the totals. Linda K, you still lead 3,680 points with a big pay-per-view win at the Elimination Chamber. The man they call Meathead is now pulled within just a couple points, 3,585. That's only 95-point difference, Linda K. I am. Oh, what kind of perfume are you wearing? What kind of shampoo do you use? Oh, you smell great, but I am right there. And then Matthew Thomas is somewhere in the back. I don't know if he can smell me, but he is sitting at 3,265.
Oh, that's within striking distance from multiple title wins at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If only you had another season with us not scoring points, you might catch up.
The pay-per-view,
Here's what
3 times normal pay-per-view points.
Here's what we got this Saturday. We have AEW points are doubled. The man they call Meathead has. It looks like John Moxley.
It's Sunday night.
It's Sunday night. Yeah, I thought it was Saturday. My
apologies. OEW pay-per-view Saturday night, which I can mention that after this. Okay, carry on.
There you go. All right. This Sunday night, Matthew Thomas, the man they call Meathead he's got John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, MJF appearing at the pay-per-view. He's got the main event in his specialty match, by the way. Linda K, you have, I believe, Chris Jericho. Yes?
La Champion, yes.
Matthew, you've got nothing.
All right. So we haven't seen Team RKO in a while. RK Bro, I'm sorry. So they could have gone somewhere else. The Rock's been absent. He could pop up somewhere else. So there's possibilities here.
Oh, wait, I've got Jungle Boy, too. Sorry. I forgot to mention Jungle Boy as well. There is a chance. Linda, you want to tell us about the pay-per-view Saturday night?
Yes. For OVW, I'll be heading back to the Ville this week. We've got March Mayhem taking place. I'll be handling the in-ring announcing duties for that. I'm super excited for that. You can order it on Fight TV. You can watch OVW TV, the weekly TV show. That one's live for free each and every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, Matthew. And you can catch the replays at any time, and of course get in on that pay-per-view the Saturday night Fight TV, or if you can make it to Louisville, awesome.
Yeah.
Tickets
and lovely LindaK.com, right, as well.
Yes, you can go also. So if you want discounted tickets for either Thursday night TV for OVW or for the actual pay-per-view, you can use promo code LindaK to save some money. But also, just to check out things going on in the world of Linda K, you can go to my website, lovelylindak.com, and check out what's going on. I'm making my way.
Making your way around. And Matthew, you've got DirtySheets.com. I don't know what you got going on over there, but over at DirtySheets.com.
Yeah, I mean, they print all the news that's suited to be printed, and sometimes it's not suited to be printed. It's just it's information, whether it's correct information or wrong information, truth or anti-truth or whatever,
or fake money like Thomas Tender.
Like they say, no press is bad press. You know, like Dirty Sheets, they kind of go by the mantra that no information is bad information. I think they had something to do with those people eating those Tide Pods a few years ago.
That was probably it. Well, I mean, you know, because even the best moms will leave their Tide Pods laying right out in the open while they're doing something else. Oh, baby, don't eat that. Boy, oh boy. For Linda K, for Matthew Thomas, the man they call Meathead, we are chugging along. We will talk to you next week with AEW Revolution results and everything else that is fit to print. Is that what you say? Is that on your DirtySheets.com website?
That's the mantra.
Everything else that is fit to print, but in a video form. So long, everyone.